All right, what is up, everyone? We're back for another family education and support group with your host, Param. This one is a nice holiday edition, and we're going to be talking about all things gratitude and how the understanding, the expression, the experience of gratitude can not only help you in a day-to-day life experience, but it can also help significantly improve your perspective, improve your emotional processes, and the quality of your healing, recovery, and transformation process. So, all that being said, let's go into our little talk today. And before we wait for all the people to start popping up, whether you're watching this live right now on Saturday, November 18th, 2023, or you watch it later on, I know some of you do, I want to say welcome. You are always a part of this recovery community, and I am grateful to have the opportunity to share my Saturday mornings with you for the most part. You know, next week we got a basketball game, so we can't do it, but, you know, we just keep moving forward. And what's up, Jess? It is interactive, just so you guys know. I could put up your comments or your questions on the board, and it's a very nice opportunity for us to be able to have something really good. You know, we got mom and dad in the house as always. So quick things about myself. My name is Param. I have a master's degree in marriage and family therapy with an emphasis in child development. I am a licensed advanced alcohol and drug counselor. I coach high school basketball. I've been doing it for 15 seasons, and I am in recovery myself. So June 13th of 2008 is the day that I shifted and transformed my life into what it is today. And it was just a moment. You know, these moments, sometimes they mean a lot and sometimes they're meaningless, but the only thing that's important is the meaning that we choose to give to it. You can have a magical, transformative moment right now if you give it the right meaning and use that meaning. So before I get into this, I know there's a lot of Iranians and Persians that follow this live stream. They've been doing it for years. Unfortunately, one of the pioneers and one of the most influential human beings in the therapeutic treatment, recovery, transformation space, his name was Dr. Iraj Shamsian, unfortunately passed away. And it's kind of sent a shock in the community. A lot of people are grieving in this moment right now. A lot of people are have questions, and they're wondering, you know, why and when's the last time I talked to him, and why did I wait so long, and all that kind of stuff. But there's another lesson for us. And all we can do in moments like that is to carry on legacies and to live a life that we know that they lived, and to help ultimately transform lives the way we know they did. And my condolences go out to anybody who is firsthand or secondhand experiencing any type of grief and loss. I know my parents are. I know I am in regards to this new loss. And it's been a tough year for a lot of us, you know, and hopefully today's talk provides a shift in perspective of how we can take advantage of these moments in life. And, you know, for those of you guys who have been following me on around this time of year where it's the holidays, and the theme of Thanksgiving, there's a couple videos that I show. One of them is about 9 minutes long, and one of them is 4 minutes long. So about 15 minutes of today's talk is going to be videos that I'm going to play for you. And I checked it before to make sure that it works and all that kind of stuff. You know, I did my due diligence, but the power of these exercises is the following. A lot of people come into recovery feeling depressed, feeling down, feeling sad, and they use people, places, things, substances to be able to improve their mood and self-regulate their emotions and all that kind of stuff. But there's another way to do it that doesn't cause harm to self or others. If anything, it improves our relationship with self and our relationship with others. And that's the expression of gratitude. So Siamak, another legend that passed away, taught me that gratitude that is not expressed does not exist. No matter how much you think you're grateful for the life you have and the people in it, if you don't express it, you're not. So this group, it's called Soul Pancake. They decided to do an exercise on gratitude. I'll let you watch it, and then from there we can go ahead and have a discussion on it. Okay, and then I have 7 ways to implement gratitude in your life, 7 exercises that I think you'll find some value from it. So let me just go ahead and share my screen, share. Okay, here we go.
Shut up.
What? Wait.
I was going to be so embarrassed.
What makes you happy? Having fun? Hanging out with friends? Delicious food? Making money? Well, consider this. Psychologists have scientifically proven that one of the greatest contributing factors to overall happiness in your life is how much gratitude you show. Yeah? Think about that. Go ahead and marinate on it for a second. You can thank me later if you want. It'll make you feel better according to this study. You go ahead and click on it and read it if you want. Or you can keep watching because we read it and we thought it might be fun to test out for ourselves. We gathered a selection of volunteers to act as our subjects. First, we gave them a test. They didn't know what we were looking for, but it gave us a pretty good idea of their current level of happiness. We asked them to close their eyes and think of somebody who was really influential in their life, somebody who did something really amazing or important for them. We had them write down as much as they could about why this person was so important. Now, a lot of them thought at this point the experiment was over, until we really put them on the spot and tried to get them to call that person and read what they wrote about them. Thank you, Jessica. We're gonna have you call your mother. So who is that right person for you?
Person is my sister, Erica.
We're gonna give Erica a call.
Okay.
Who'd you end up picking?
Friend of mine, Craig Ains.
Her name is Dora.
My college accounting instructor.
Really? Is this somebody you're still in touch with today?
No, I'm assuming that he's passed on.
That's a
To the
shame.
great beyond.
You up for it?
Yes.
What would you say if we called up Dora?
Oh, we can try, but she lives in Britain.
In Britain?
I don't know number by heart, dude. This is awful.
That's fine. I don't know my mom's number by heart.
If it's true that those who are going on are looking down on us, maybe he read my chicken scratch.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
You got a second? Where you at, in the hotel?
I am. I'm in the hotel. You scared me when you asked if I had a second or something's wrong.
No, I'm on like this little TV show, and they told me to talk about the person that influenced me the most, and I picked you, and they're making me call. They're making me call you.
Oh, wonderful!
Hi, you've reached Craig. I'm not here right now.
At the tone, please record your message.
Oh, come on.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Erica. It's me.
All right, so I got to read you this paragraph. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead,
All right.
sweetheart.
All right. The person that influenced me the most would be my mother, Marlo Dawson. She is a single mother of 2. She is a very hard worker and dedicated to her family.
Hey, Craig, this is Loie. This is going to be a funny little voicemail, so I hope you enjoy it.
I'm so sorry for calling you at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm so sorry.
I have to read this to you, okay? And you can't say anything, or I don't know. You can respond, but I probably will just keep going. Okay?
Is everything okay?
Yes, but I have to read this out loud to you.
The person who has had the biggest impact on my life outside of Jesus Christ, who is responsible for my existence, was my college accounting instructor. He had a joy and enthusiasm for his job like no other teacher I have ever known.
I love her to death, and she keeps me going with positive talk. She is a woman that knows what she wants and won't give up until it is achieved.
Oh, something. I don't know what. I'm about to cry because it's so beautiful. I have nothing to say. That's just wonderful.
I first met Craig on an independent feature film set in Whitefish, Montana. I recently have been sending Craig a lot of positive thoughts as he's suffered a series of health problems. Despite his medical problems, he's continued to work and take pleasure in the small things in life, like sitting quietly with his wife Janine on the porch.
Erica is my older sister and my best friend. Sometimes it even feels like we are twins. She's my #1 fan and my #1 supporter. She makes me happy because despite all my mistakes and my decisions, she still loves me no matter what.
Your friendship is everything. And you are one of the most important person in my life.
Even when she has a kid and many children, I will love her more than her kids. Okay, maybe not. I will never forget when she flew 3,000 miles at the drop of a phone call to save me from a breakup.
I'm being blessed by having a son like you. I love you.
Bye.
Why did you do that to me?
I don't know, because they made me do it.
Thank you for picking up. Bye, sweetie.
And then they're like, here, you're gonna write this letter. And then I wrote like this whole long ass letter, which, I like don't write. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, guess what? Now we're gonna call her and you're gonna read her this letter. And I was like, what the
Before we let them go, we gave our subjects one more happiness test. Now, we mixed up and rephrased the questions so they didn't know they were taking the same test twice. For those who took the time to actually write something down but couldn't make the phone call for whatever reason, we saw happiness increase between 2 and 4%. Good, but not exactly mind-blowing. Now, for those who actually picked up the phone and personally expressed their gratitude, we saw increases between 4 and 19%. So either way, expressing your gratitude will make you a happier person. But you want to know something really interesting? The person who experienced the biggest jump in happiness was the least happy person who walked in the door. What does that mean? That means if you're having a particularly tough time, trying this out will more likely have a greater impact on you.
Okay, so what I want you guys to know there is what we watched. So if you're just catching up right now, what was that? We have one more video to follow. It's much shorter than that, but so we're talking about how the expression of gratitude can actually change the way you feel, okay? And the way they went about this was they had individuals pick the most influential person in their life. You all have one. Everybody watching this has the most influential or few influential people in their lives. They told them to write them a letter of why that person is so influential. Write a letter. And they wrote it. And then they said, okay, grab the phone and call that person. If they're still alive, and like that one gentleman, they might not be. I know a lot of you, the most influential person in your life might be passed on. So what they did was they wrote the letter, and then they picked up the phone and they called that individual. And they just shared their truth. They just shared who that person is. And if you notice something really interesting, as soon as they called and wanted to talk, the other side was like, hey, is everything okay? What's going on? We're so not used to each other talking to each other about like, hey, like beautiful things, that when we want to pause and tell someone we want to tell them something, they think like something bad's happened. Such bad conditioning. And what happens from there is they read it. And at the end of it, it said that people that wrote the letter and didn't do anything with it, they had a little spike of happiness, right? Like 2 to 4%, nothing big. But the people that actually wrote the letter, picked up the phone and called, they had a spike of happiness anywhere between 4 and 19%, like 20% better. And he said the most interesting part was the people that were the least happy, going through the most amount of like psychological torment, were the ones that experienced the biggest spike in happiness. And, I share stuff like this to people and they say, oh, that's a cute idea. Oh, that's nice. That's interesting. But rarely do people follow through with these things because I don't know. We think we're too good. It's not for us. We got pride. We got ego. Well, I want to show you the second video of people who watched that video and they said, you know what? I'm going to actually do this. And not only am I going to do it, I'm going to record it while I do it. So I want you to watch this next video and then we'll come back, have a discussion on it. And I'm going to share you 7 tips on how to actually implement gratitude in your life. Very, very simple strategies that work. Okay. So the second video is coming. And let's see, I gotta rewind it.
After our first experiment on gratitude, we asked you guys for video responses. And you guys delivered. So take a look at what we did with it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
I literally just watched the piece you did on happiness.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, Grandpa.
Hey, Caleb, how you doing, buddy?
I was crying while I was watching it.
So today in class, I had my students write a letter of the
person that they were influenced by the most, and they're supposed to read it to that person. And I did the same thing, so I'm going to read you the letter, okay?
Well, I wanted to read you something, okay?
Alright, appreciate it.
Are you ready? I'm not gonna cry.
Mom, I would like you to know that out of almost everyone I know, you have and continue to be the person who has influenced me the most. One of my first memories is resting my head on your belly and wanting to know why it was so big and yet so hard. I remember you saying, your baby brother is in there. I also remember thinking, she must love us a lot to let us stretch out her belly like that.
My grandpa is one of the most influential people in my life.
Mom, your name is Evelyn Gillum, who is destined to be with me, Jasmine Gillum, 22 years and some months ago. You weren't expecting this message today, but I wanted you to know that I appreciate all you have done for me.
I was calling to let you know how influential you have been in my life and how grateful I am to be so lucky to call you my grandpa.
Had it not been for you reading to me every night, I doubt I would have loved to read so much.
I may be lost at this age, but I'm so glad I have you as my mother to be my guide here on earth.
He has always supported me in what I do, and he loves me unconditionally.
You have touched my soul in ways you couldn't imagine. I'm not crying. I am. Okay.
Had it not been for dancing around the living room to jock jams, I doubt I ever would have been able to have fun looking like an idiot.
I know how much you've been through the past couple of years with Susie Q and Grandma. But you have been the rock that held the family together and the ray of light through the clouds.
And is a father figure to me and my two brothers. I thank God that he has blessed me with such an amazing grandpa.
But most importantly, had it not been for your tearful plea a year and a half ago, I know I would have never seen the dire need for me to seek healing. Without you, I would have continued on, thinking I was perfectly healthy, while my disease continued to wrap its fingers around my life.
Who has inspired me to do what is right, and to never lose one's integrity.
You are a rock. You are a true picture of grace, mercy, and love.
You're such a stand-up pops and one of the most inspiring human beings I have ever met. I love you to the moon and back, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life.
I love you, and I commend you for being the woman you are, the person you continue to grow into each day.
Oh, that's so beautiful, baby.
Over and out.
Oh my gosh, that is the best tribute that anyone can ever give anyone. And you just made my day, and you made my 91 years worth the living.
Hello.
I'm here.
Oh.
So thank you, Grandpa, for being my grandpa and loving me. I love you.
Oh my goodness. What a wonderful thing you said there.
Thank you.
Well, I got tears in my eyes, buddy.
I do too.
I love you.
Me too. Oh, that's great.
I gotta.
Buddy, thanks a lot. Thanks for calling me, and I really love you. I love you, like you say, unconditionally, and I hope you love me the same way.
I do, Grandpa.
Where did that come from?
So, my friends, what we just watched there right now was the practical application of the first video. So when you write a letter to someone who's been influential to you in your life, and you take the time to read that letter to them, that's what happens. And, the most profound thing that I don't know if you caught it or not, I don't know if the audio was good enough. The girl wrote the letter to her grandfather, and she probably took, 3-5 minutes to write the whole thing? After she read it to him, the grandfather said the following statement, and this is a direct quote. "Sweetheart, that was wonderful. You just made my 91 years here on earth worthwhile. Just think about that. On one side, you put 3 to 5 minutes of your time. On the other side of the scale, that 3 to 5 minutes was equal to 91 years of that man's life. And that's what we withhold from people when we don't express our gratitude. You know, I share this exercise around this time of year because regardless of the historical nature of this upcoming holiday and what it is or what it isn't, and what it actually represents and what it doesn't, it is a time of year that we all tap into gratitude of the people, places, and things in our lives. And sometimes we withhold the amount of love that we have for people because of things like pride and ego. And, you know, I did this talk in the morning and I actually got pretty emotional, and I feel it coming again. You know, my mom and dad are watching this too, so I gotta, be mindful of it. But, you know, I tell people, hey, what's holding you back from writing these letters? You know, why don't you just write this letter and read it to somebody? And they're like, well, I don't have time, or I'm not in the mood, or I'll do it some other time. As you guys know, my brother passed away earlier this year, and I would do anything to go back to April 9th of 2023 and write a letter like that to my brother and to be able to read it to him. I really would. And Lynn just came here too, you know, and this is the beauty of these rooms. I know she would do the same for her son. I know she would. And there's just so much that we can say to people, right? The thing about, you know, these tears, I read somewhere that it's okay to have these tears. It's just all the unexpressed love that we hold on. And, you know, Lynn just said today's Ed's birthday. Man, I hope you find a way to find some peace today, Lynn. I hope you get to, maybe write a letter to Ed and then highlight some of the beautiful things in his life and that we all shared with him. We got lucky enough to share a few years with your son. I know you had a lot more, and just remember these tears that we have is just all the unexpressed love, right? Yeah, I know, Mom and Dad, love you guys too. I love you guys too. It's okay. You know, the first time I cried on this camera over this kind of stuff was a few months after my brother, and maybe the holidays are coming around, maybe my birthday's coming around, maybe his birthday's coming around. Just a heavier time of year, but the beauty is we all get through it together. You know, the same way Lynn is getting through it, the way my mom and dad are getting through it, the way some people in our community right now are getting through it with some people that have passed away. Oh man, what will we do to be able to go back and turn back the hands of time and say a few more things, right? So how about this? How about we don't experience the pain that I'm experiencing and the pain that, you know, my parents and Lynn is experiencing over there, and we express our gratitude to the people in our lives. We write them the letter. And yeah, see, there's another person here, you know, Jess, which is one of our faithful followers. She wrote, my best friend / boyfriend just passed away the 5th of last month. So this is, you know, that's a very heavy loss when it's two people in one. It's been a really hard month for me also. So I feel the same way about wishing I could tell him how grateful I was for him. And those are the kind of things, you know, it's there are other people's in Jess's life, my life, Lynn's life that are still around right now. And if we don't learn that lesson of that, you know, the not expressing our gratitude through at least let them be the lesson of like that we understood it now, you know. So my condolences to you, Jess. You can still write a letter to him. You know, I think on my birthday this year, I'm doing a little writing assignment to my brother. But you can still write a letter to people, man, and go somewhere peaceful and serene and read it to the skies, you know, and hopefully they hear it. But let's get into some educational pieces. I'm going to go quick. I kind of a little bit dysregulated right now to lead a lecture group, to be honest with you guys, but I'll do my best. So I want to teach you guys just 7 very quick exercises that you can implement in your day that will foster some gratitude. And please remember this, like I shared with you, Siamak, he taught me something. And he said that gratitude that is not expressed does not exist. It only exists inside of our mind. And sometimes it's too late to be able to share it. So some of you might be wondering, well, what are the different ways I could do gratitude? It's like, I get tired of just saying I'm grateful for my roof or grateful for my family or grateful for my hands. Like, what else can I do, right? So here they are. The first one is something called a gratitude flush. What a gratitude flush is, you sit down with a pen and paper and you set an alarm for like 3 to 5 minutes. And it's a stream of consciousness focused on gratitude. You can just write anything and everything that you're grateful for that's in your life, or also grateful for that is not in your life. And you can just freestyle it. There is no right, there is no wrong. And after 2 minutes, when you get in that 3rd minute, the 4th minute, the 5th minute, you'll start to realize how creative we can be when we actually explore to find things we're grateful for. And it just kind of flushes our system out, and it makes the unknown known, or it makes the unconscious conscious, or it makes the things we don't pay attention to appear in front of us. And that's a very powerful thing. So a gratitude flush is a really quick and easy way to be able to kind of flood your system with gratitude. And sometimes if it's hard or you don't want to do it, that's exactly the time you have to do it, because you might start off slow, but you'll start to gain some momentum to it. Okay. Let's see. We got a comment here. Jim, grateful people are happy people, and those who aren't. Ain't that the truth? The next one we have here is called a gratitude memo. Now, what a gratitude memo is you can either use like a cell phone and a group chat, so you can include other people in your life, and you can write things that you're grateful for. For example, let's say there's 5 of you, and you write 3 things that you're each grateful for, and you put in a group text. The next day, when you share your 3, you can't repeat any of the ones you did before. And the day after that, you can't repeat. The day after that, you can't repeat. And the process, as it goes on for a course of a month, you realize like, oh my gosh, look at all these things I'm coming up with. Or you can leave a voice note, like a memo, just like a 1-minute thing of things you're grateful for, and you share it to the group, and then they share it back. And it creates this experience of kind of abundance and just love and warmth. So gratitude memo is a nice way. Plus, when there's other people involved, it helps us stay accountable for the days that we don't want to tap into gratitude. When 2 or 3 or 4 people are sending you gratitude stuff, and they're like, hey, where are yours? Or you haven't sent one yesterday. Let's send us what you're grateful for. The accountability piece really helps. So the next one I have is called a gratitude thing. This one's more on the meditative state. So you pick one person, place, thing, object, situation, and that becomes your primary focus for gratitude for, let's just say, that day. So anytime your mind goes somewhere else, you come back to that thing, the singular thing that you're grateful for. And it's kind of just like a mantra. It's kind of just like a reset. It's kind of like a way to reshift focus back into that one thing. And it's a very powerful way, because we're able to, no matter how distracted we are, regain focus. It's also very powerful because it's a form of distraction from all of that stuff, in a healthy distraction, because as we learned today in the earlier videos and the talks, that the grasping onto gratitude improves our mental health and our mental well-being. And it's just a very nice, easy way to do it. The next one, as we just watched, is the gratitude letter. So you grab a pen and paper, you write a letter to the person who's been most influential to you in your life. You write to that person why they've been influential, how they've helped you, and kind of what your whole total experience about having that human in your world is like. You write that letter, you either send off the letter, you call that person, you read that letter, and if they've passed away, you write it and go by the ocean, or go in a park under a tree, or go somewhere peaceful in front of a little garden and just kind of be with them. A gratitude letter is powerful, man. It's a tool that I hope most of you pick up after this talk. The next one's a gratitude quickie. Sorry for the name, but pretty much what a gratitude quickie is a very quick shift in perspective. For example, people that have problems with alcohol and drugs, one thing they do is they don't want to forget their last drunk or where their drug addiction led them to. So as soon as life gets difficult, They go quickly back into that moment. Anytime you want to quit, remember why you started, right? Or for me, for example, if it says, hey, Parm, are you having how are you doing today? I'm like, oh, it's a good day. Or I say, oh, it's a better day. Because I believe today we only have good days and better days. A bad day is when you close your eyes and take a walk down memory lane to the time you got that phone call you didn't want to get, to the time that you were, really struggling with trauma, with addictions, with the, instability in your life. Those are all bad days. If today you're not dealing with that stuff, it's either good or better. That's a quick shift in perspective. Quick shift in perspective. The next one I have is a gratitude jar. You grab a jar, any type of a jar that you can see through. A glass jar would work. A little plastic box would work. And you just write down a few things on little Post-its, pieces of papers you're grateful for. You throw it in the jar and just leave it. Over the course of about a month, the jar starts to fill up. And it's a nice visual cue and a visual reminder of the fullness and abundance in your life, even if you're not paying attention to it. Some days when you're really struggling, you go and you grab the jar and you grab what's inside of it and you read it and you're like, okay, man, like perspective. So the gratitude jar is pretty important. And the very last one is a gratitude rock, gratitude object. It's something you put in your pocket. And every time you grab, something from your pocket, you grab your keys, you grab your phone. Every time you feel it, it's a reminder to express your gratitude. If you're at work somewhere, you put it on your workstation or put it hanging from your rear view mirror in your car. It's just the visual cues are good for human beings because we have these things called built-in forgetters. We forget the little things in life. And here's the thing, my friends, things in life that are easy to do are also easy not to do. Everything I just shared with you is so freaking easy. That means it's easy not to do as well. So the choice is yours. How do you want to experience gratitude in your life? What's the benefit of it to you and for you? I don't really know, but I do know that this upcoming week is a holiday. It's a holiday that's usually rooted with loved ones and people spending time with each other. So do me a favor, and as much as you love the food on the table, don't make it about the food on the table. This upcoming holiday, make it about the people sitting around the table. Make sure you take a few minutes to share to them and express the gratitude you have for them and who they've been in your life. Make sure that you let them know how much you appreciate them. Make sure that it's sincere, genuine, and authentic. Make sure that it's from the heart, and allow them to just kind of marinate and soak into that experience. Because remember, not only is it going to make their world and make them feel good, it's going to make yourself feel good, potentially up to 19% improvement in your mental health. So I know I'll be spending Thursday with my mom and dad, small, intimate, and I'll for sure express some gratitude that I have for them on that during that moment. I'm not going to let that one go by, and I hope you don't either. So I love and appreciate all of you. I won't be here next week because of basketball. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Have a wonderful, wonderful upcoming holiday. Until next time, grateful for the opportunity. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye, everyone. Oh, Lynn, thank you. I don't know about wonderful, but and you're welcome for the advice. I love you. We love you. And happy birthday to Mr. Ed. I'll be thinking about him today for sure. Okay. Yeah. Take care. Pacific Sands. Oh, St. John. Appreciate you. Jim. Appreciate you. Mahbube. Hi and bye. Sorry, I just saw these. Grateful for you too, Cataline. Happy holidays, Jess. Appreciate all you guys, man. It's I saw Dylan's mom there somewhere. Where was she? Dorothy. East Coast, the right coast. Come on, the West Coast is the right coast. Appreciate you guys, man. You're welcome, man. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.